Disney Classic Storybook Collection. Dumbo, Timothy's Big Day. Timothy Q. Mouse looked out over the edge of Dumbo's head and grinned. Below him, the crowd cheered for the flying elephant. Timothy loved the circus. There was no place in the world he would rather be. Later that night, Timothy watched the crew pack up the circus. It was time to move on to the next town. But first, the ringmaster had to pass out letters and packages to the performers. Unseen by the ringmaster, a tiny envelope fell out of his pile. Timothy scurried over to the fallen letter. The mouse turned the envelope over to see who it was for and then gasped. It was for him. Timothy couldn't believe it. His family was coming to see him. He hadn't spoken to them since he had left home to join the circus. To his parents, life on the farm was perfect. They couldn't imagine living anywhere else. Timothy hurried over to Dumbo's stall. "Oh boy, look at this, will ya?" Timothy shouted, waving around the letter. "My parents are coming to see you perform, Dumbo. They've never liked the circus, but seeing our show will change that. After all, who wouldn't love a flying elephant?" As the circus traveled to his hometown, Timothy grew more and more excited about seeing his family. But Timothy was nervous too. What if his parents didn't think he had done a good job with Dumbo after all? He wanted them to be proud of him, and that meant he had to show them how great circus life was. The next morning, the circus train pulled into the station. After so long away, Timothy felt strange to know that he was home again. He wondered if he would see his family in the crowd. But there were too many people. If the mice had come, there was no way he'd be able to find them. Finally, the animals arrived at the circus site. Timothy watched as the circus hands got to work setting up the big top. No matter how many times he saw it, watching the tent go up never got any less exciting. "Just wait until my family gets a load of this," Timothy said to Dumbo. "The lights, the noise, and you, Dumbo. I can't wait for them to see your act." But at that moment, Dumbo let out a great big sneeze. Dumbo sneezed again and again. "Oh no!" the ringmaster said, hurrying over to look at the little elephant. "This is no good. You can't go on with the cold, and we can't go on without you." The ringmaster turned to the circus hands. "Sorry, lads, this fella needs his rest. Today's show will have to wait." Timothy looked over at Dumbo. The ringmaster was right. The little elephant did not look good at all. "It's my job to take care of you, Dumbo," Timothy said with determination. "Let's find you somewhere comfortable to lie down." Timothy led Dumbo to a cozy pile of hay and went to get a steaming bowl of peanut soup. Then Timothy started to give Dumbo a warm bath, but Dumbo sneezed again. Next, the mouse found the warmest blanket he could and draped it over Dumbo. But it was no use. The elephant just kept sneezing. "Well, the least I can do is make sure you get some peace and quiet so you can rest," Timothy said, moving to the front of the tent. He felt bad for Dumbo. It was no fun to be sick, but he felt bad for himself, too. This was supposed to be his chance to make his parents proud of him. Timothy was still feeling sorry for himself a few hours later when he heard a familiar voice. "Timothy, dear, we have been looking for you everywhere." Timothy turned to see his mother, his father, and his brothers and sisters standing in front of him. "Mother, Father, you're here." The little mouse hung his head. "I'm afraid Dumbo has a cold. He can't go on tonight. I'm sorry you wasted your time coming." "Wasted our time?" Timothy's father asked. "We came to the circus to see you. We're not big city travelers, but we're certainly not going to miss a chance to see our son. You don't think I made a mistake joining the circus?" Timothy asked. "There's no such thing as a mistake as long as you're doing what you love," his mother said. At that moment, the flaps to Dumbo's tent rustled, and the little elephant stepped through, looking like he felt much better. "Dumbo, old pal," Timothy said. "May I introduce you to my family?" Dumbo was very pleased to meet them. "If you'll excuse me," Timothy said to everyone, "I'd better let the ringmaster know that Dumbo is feeling better." Then he turned to his parents. "Wait here, you two. I have something I'd like to show you." That night, Timothy sat in his usual spot in Dumbo's hat, with his parents next to him. Cheers filled the room as the elephant soared through the air. "All those happy faces are pretty special," Timothy's father said. "Maybe I'm starting to understand this circus thing after all." Timothy's mother nodded. "Tell me," she said, "can this elephant go any faster?"